Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
My roommate's daughter just came and woke me up in my bedroom.
She told me that something was wrong with Mommy, and that Mommy wouldn't wake up.
Is she breathing?
Yes. No, but I don't know. We need to get down here.
Sheriff's office.
Jacob on the phone saying that Katlyn is unresponsive. They're doing something.
On October 7th, 2022, in Bedford County, Virginia, 28-year-old Katlyn Lyon was found unresponsive in her new apartment.
Saying that Katlyn is unresponsive. They're doing CPR.
At first, deputies believed it was a drug overdose. It wasn't. Katlyn had been strangled.
Go to Virginia is nobody can get in trouble for overdoses. I swear to God.
They asked me, does she do drugs? Do I do drugs? Did you give her something? Does she take something? I was like, I don't do drugs.
All the signs are looking for like an overdose.
The police were adamant that it was a drug overdose, and I'm like, she doesn't do drugs.
Her 4-year-old daughter was sleeping beside her that night, and the only other adult in the apartment was the man performing CPR, her roommate. He called 911. He cooperated. He never ran.
She's gonna be okay. She had CPR, she was alive, she had a heartbeat. She was gonna be okay.
So if he didn't kill her, who did? Because 3 hours away, someone she had recently blocked was sitting outside her apartment complex, watching.
Investigators learned 2 hours after that photo was taken, Trenton Fry's SUV was recorded by a surveillance camera pulling into a gas station near the apartment complex.
And in a case with no fingerprints, no eyewitnesses, and a crime scene accidentally cleaned, investigators would uncover one microscopic mistake. A Bluetooth connection, an iPad that silently recorded what no one else saw. The iPad that unmasked a killer. The Katlyn Lyon case from jealousy and digital stalking to a courtroom battle over invisible evidence. Today, we trace the final hours of a woman who believed she was finally free, and the signal that proved someone was closer than anyone imagined. Welcome to Psyche Probe. Let's find out who killed Katlyn Lyon. Katlyn Lyon was more than a victim. She was glitter personified, vibrant, creative, and full of life, dancing through music festivals and showering love on her daughter, Milani.
Smart, she loved to shop and dance, and she had so many friends. I always described her as glitter. She expressed her individuality through her.
She had the best sense of humor. She loved Milani, she loved her daughter. She was single, she was getting a new apartment and she was starting over.
But all that glitter, all that life, came to a sudden stop the morning her 4-year-old daughter realized something was wrong, telling her mom's roommate she wouldn't wake up.
My roommate's daughter just came and woke me up in my bedroom.
She told me that something was wrong with Mommy, and that Mommy wouldn't wake up.
Is she breathing?
Yes. No, but I don't know. We need to get down here.
When deputies arrived at the apartment, they believed they were responding to a drug overdose. But the marks on Katlyn's neck told a very different story.
They asked me, does she do drugs? Do I do drugs? Did you give her something? Does she take something? I was like, I don't do drugs.
All the signs are looking for like an overdose.
History.
She's ODing. She's ODing.
Anything?
That she had been strangled.
We were speechless, we're baffled. Like, who did it?
Then, lead investigator Robbie Burnett with the Bedford County Sheriff's Office was called in to document Katlyn's injuries.
I got a phone call to take a strangulation report.
What he found confirmed this was no overdose. It was a strangulation.
2 distinctive marks parallel to each other on her neck.
Investigator Alderson then began processing the apartment itself, determined to find what could have caused the injuries on Katlyn's neck.
So her apartment's on the 2nd floor.
Wrapped inside Katlyn's comforter, she discovered a critical clue, a multiple charging cord adapter consistent with the marks investigators had documented.
It was a multiple charging cord adapter.
But because first responders didn't suspect foul play at the time, the family was unknowingly given permission to wash the sheets and clean up Katlyn's room. And just like that, critical evidence may have been wiped away before investigators even realized a murder had occurred.
Yes. Yes.
As investigators searched for evidence and leads to identify Katlyn's attacker, doctors were fighting to save her life. After 29 hours, on the morning of October 8th, Katlyn was officially declared brain dead.
I remember going to her. One of the only things I remember is telling her I'm sorry that I couldn't protect her. I can say that there are no words that have been invented to describe how this feels.
Investigators' first focus was obvious: Jacob Piercy, the roommate. He was the only adult present.
Person you're looking at.
We definitely looked at Jacob Piercy, the roommate.
Investigators told us that it was 99% sure he did it.
But Milani, in her innocent 4-year-old way, misidentified what she had seen.
Did you have anything to do with hurting Katlyn?
Absolutely not.
She thought Jacob hurt her mother, but in reality, he was saving her, performing CPR.
She actually did the motions of her with her hands of what Jacob was doing to her.
Going like this.
Yeah, that's the motion she made.
To be sure, investigator Burnett went back and reviewed the 911 call. On the recording, you can clearly hear Jacob performing CPR.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You could tell he was definitely putting effort in.
I thought I had done enough. But I think that's what tears me up the most. It's just, I wasn't able to save her, you know.
That's when investigators turned to Trenton Fry, Katlyn's ex-boyfriend, 3 hours away in North Carolina.
Facility.
And what did that say to you?
He had some kind of break. Something happened to him, apparently.
Katlyn had blocked him after the breakup. Initially, when Katlyn first met Trenton on a dating app, he presented himself as successful, a business owner with stability and ambition.
Well, he had his stuff together. She was excited to have a relationship with him.
He told me that he owned a security company and he owned his own construction company. We had talked about him doing my floors because he had me thinking he was, you know, this awesome builder.
But the truth slowly surfaced. No steady job, no thriving business, and more often than not, Katlyn was the one paying the bills.
That I'm so tired of paying for everything. She said, if he's got all this money, these businesses, why does he have money? And I said, well, Katlyn, that's a red flag right there.
He was not reliable and wasn't fulfilling what she thought he was going to do.
Called me from work and she was screaming and crying, just like bawling, crying. And she was like, he's a liar. He lied about everything. He doesn't.
Days later, Katlyn told him it was over.
Done?
She was done.
So she cut him off?
She did. She blocked him. Blocked him, yeah.
But the real question was Trenton willing to let her go? Instead, as Katlyn tried to start over in a new apartment she shared with a friend, Jacob Piercy, her ex-boyfriend wasn't moving on.
And we were so excited that they were going to be so close to us.
He was watching. He was stalking her.
In the parking lot of her apartment, watching everything Katlyn was doing.
And to investigator Burnett, the picture was starting to come into focus. Somehow, some way, Trenton Fry had gotten inside that apartment and strangled Katlyn.
Why did Trenton Fry kill the woman he said he loved?
I think it's because she told him no, and he couldn't take the rejection from her.
Then came the breakthrough. Detectives uncovered Trenton's digital footprint. Phone pings, placing him near her apartment just 3 days before the murder.
Looking at, obviously more of his cell phone records, tracking that history.
We found that his phone pings were in the area of Forest, Virginia. In Virginia, he was in at least the area of Katlyn's new apartment complex.
And surveillance cameras capturing him lingering outside, watching.
Photo of the stranger on the afternoon of October, that is.
Well, we later determined it to be Trenton Fry. So this is an elevated vantage point. It looks directly down on her building.
Did Katlyn Montgomery have any idea that somebody had been watching her for days?
No, ma'am.
Without fingerprints or DNA, one small mistake exposed the killer: Katlyn's iPad. Investigators discovered that Trenton's phone had automatically connected to the iPad via Bluetooth.
Inside Katlyn's apartment.
This digital handshake placed Trenton inside the apartment during the critical window. A signal, invisible to the naked eye, proved proximity. The silent witness to a violent act.
Have the two of them within feet of each other during the window of the injury.
But inside the courtroom, Trenton Fry denied it all. His defense insisted he was never inside that apartment. No DNA, no fingerprints, no hard evidence tying him to the scene.
Fry's story.
I agree with the billboards in this case. Justice for Katlyn. But it should happen after a review of all the evidence.
They dismissed the iPad Bluetooth connection as nothing more than a theory.
We don't know where the iPad was.
But prosecutors had the digital breadcrumbs, surveillance, and inconsistencies in his story. The iPad connection, combined with prior stalking behavior, painted a damning picture.
Law enforcement called him later that same afternoon. Mr. Fry told him, I wasn't in Virginia, I was working in North Carolina, I didn't even know where Katlyn lived.
Mr. Fry had given a number of inconsistent statements, what I would absolutely characterize as lies, because they were all in conflict with.
The jury needed just over an hour.
The jury wasted no time today, deliberating for just about an hour.
Because it came back so quick, I was very concerned that it didn't go the way that we wanted.
Guilty, first-degree murder. Trenton Fry was sentenced to life in prison. Justice, at last, for Katlyn.
Guilty, first degree.
I was staring at his face the entire time, and he had no reaction when the verdict was.
Of terror, the amount of horror inflicted upon this young, innocent woman is unimaginable. Unimaginable to anyone, to everybody, except you. Because you were there. You saw it. You caused it. I hereby sentence you to imprisonment for life.
But as her mother later said, even with the verdict, her daughter is still gone. Nobody wins.
Sentenced to a lifetime without my daughter. Melanie was sentenced to a lifetime without her mama, so even though we got the verdict we wanted, my daughter's still not here. If I could have walked out of that courtroom and hugged her, then I would have won. Nobody won.
Today, Crystal, Katlyn's mom, and their family continue to honor her memory.
The family.
Crystal enjoys a familiar role as Melanie's grandmother.
Through TikTok videos, advocacy, and raising Melanie, they make sure Katlyn's story is never forgotten, and that the lessons learned from it reach far beyond that courtroom.
I think that everyone that has lost their lives to domestic violence, their names need to be said. I don't want another mother, another family to go through what we're going through. I have to be my daughter's voice, and I have to help save other women.
Psyche Probe asks, in a world where technology silently witnesses every action, can justice finally catch up to obsession? Katlyn Lyon's story reminds us that even in the darkest moments, one small trace can unmask a killer.
Your younger self would be so envious of where you are now. You're such a hard worker and such an amazing mother.
Katlyn, as she saw herself.
You're beautiful, powerful, and so strong.
Love.
If this case made you think differently about the digital footprints we leave behind, stay with us, subscribe, and join us as we continue to uncover the hidden psychology, the silent clues, and the stories that refuse to stay buried.